Imperfect.
Why do people think
Of
that
course.
dinosaurs are lizards? Because I read an article lately
I,
that said that all dinosaurs look like birds.
yes. Okay. So, a lot of misconceptions. It comes straight from Jurassic Park. That's why a
Exactly.
lot of us have complete misconceptions. Like Jimmy, my boyfriend, you know him. Y'all
Hmm.
worked security occasionally. Anyways, he always says that he's like, none of the dinosaurs have feathers. Like they're not realistic. Like anytime we watch Jurassic Park, like he's just like, yeah, and this one didn't have a frill like this. So like a lot of our misconceptions come straight from the movies and how they're portrayed, but as we're learning they were more bird-like. Chickens are probably the closest current living relatives to dinosaurs. Like when you think about it, that's probably kind of how a T-Rex moved, was kind of
I
like a
mean, they
chicken.
do. They when they create the movements, they do make them look like that. I can understand the aspect because obviously the animal, the oldest living moving huge animal, is what, a crocodile. So that's been along forever. Other than like organisms and shit that have been around forever, amoebas and stuff in the ocean. So I can understand that aspect of it, but exactly like what you said speaks to so much because once you see Jurassic Park, it's fucking over. As long as they can package it
Yeah,
right
it's
for you
over.
to understand it,
It's
it's in
over.
your
It's
fucking
over.
brain forever. And
Yeah, it's just burned
I
in.
posted an article. I think it was yesterday, that in 1988, the top two selling the top two viewed TV shows in the world, because obviously we are the people that drive entertainment other than like India, but this is before India started driving entertainment, were The Cosbys at number one and A Different World at number two. Those are two fully black TV shows. Number one being a doctor and a fucking lawyer as a black people with all black successful kids. And number two being all black successful kids in college wearing HBCU gear. From
Yep.
1988 to now, there has not been another black show at number one. There has not been another black show in the top five. So now the Fresh Prince was the closest, and I think that hit like seven. From 1988 to now, there's never been two. In 1980, there was two. So when you look at it from 1988 to now, your mainstream television, NBC, CBS, Viacom, Fox, look at what a
Right.
black
It's
person
very
is,
white
comes
centrist.
through CIS, comes through Law and Order, comes through The West Wing, comes through JAG, comes from
Or
NCCIS.
This Is Us,
So,
which is, I've watched all of This Is Us. I'm current, but it's very white saviorism. So the white family decides to adopt the poor black kid because one of their triplets died. So they saved him, and it's like, so it comes up in a later season when Randall's running for city councilman, and the black community's like, hey, you're not really one of us. Like, you weren't really raised around your community. You were very much raised by white people. You don't understand the issues that are facing us. And like, even though like he ends up winning the councilmanship, it's still just very obvious that he doesn't understand what it's like to struggle the same, because he never had to. His white parents provided, like, yeah, they weren't rich or anything, but they afforded him a different type of lifestyle that most people didn't, have the option to. But again, it very much focuses on, look, his entire life changed because he was adopted, and it's very much white centered.
I mean, yeah, even with that, like in Law and Order, your experience with a black person is most likely going to be as a criminal. So now you go
Yeah,
from
or
1988,
Ice
where you're driving the entertainment. This is what black people are. We are fucking lawyers and doctors, and we are college students and regular human beings turned from that. And then you compound that with music turning from, at that time, Boogie Down Productions and, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and the Message, that was all positive and Africa oriented, and UNITY with Queen Latifah oriented to gangster rap. So now you compound the music to gangster, compound the TV to gangster, and what the fuck you think everybody else is gonna see? Because we're only 13% of the United States gangsters.
Right. But somehow 40% of the prison population.
It's true. That is true. So
So,
let's do the last question of the night. That being, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's a new craze that is calling pedophilia a sexual orientation.
so this isn't new. I promise you.
No, with a college study behind it now.
If you look up in, I believe it's France, which they got their legal sexual age limit lowered, like to either nothing or like really ridiculously low, was because of a pedophile helped push legislation and tried to just say that children can consent and that they have feelings, and pioneered a quote unquote child liberation movement. So it's something that's been around that has invaded the gay community. Like, I don't know if you know what NAMBLA is, the National American Man Boy Love
No, I do not
Association,
know who that is, but
stuff
I'm gonna
like
look
that.
that shit up.
So,
I also have to watch
a lot
Imitation
of
of
times,
Life, but keep continuing.
yeah. So, but a lot of, like, even some queer theory starts to get into this abstract um, way of thinking, and to kind of reduce everything down to, well, nothing means nothing, words mean nothing. Kids, have feelings and emotions, so they should be able to act on it. It's like, no, they shouldn't. Kids don't know what that is. And even, young teenagers having sexual experiences, that doesn't mean it's okay for them to be with an actual adult. Like, I shared something a couple days ago, and it's like, people think pedophiles are like 50-year-old men going after little 5-year-olds and stuff like that. It's not just them, it's also your 20-something-year-old friend who's hanging around,
Well,
15
yeah,
and
I mean, you,
14
you
and
you always
16.
saw it like when you were younger. You saw it as a person that was not able to counter the intellectual values of a woman, so that they were like, okay, let me
Right.
find somebody that I know that I can intellectually beat. And you see it now.
Yes.
Like I say it to people all the time. No, I want your best intellectually, so I can take that shit down